We're going to make a bevel shoe. You can have all kinds of different bevel shoes, but this is going to be a front plain stamped roadster bevel. And so you're going to fit with a little bit of width, obviously, but the width is going to come off of your bevel. The width is going to come off of the weight bearing of the outside perimeter of the horse's hoof and go and be a continuation of that. So you'll have a bevel that goes out. One of the biggest problems that you have when you're building a bevel is you lose weight bearing because you're actually condensing the steel from the sides. So the test in a bevel to me is you start with a piece of steel and you would upset about 3/4 of it. So you'd leave the inside alone. And then your second bump, you would bump the toe. And that way you would have a wider outside because you have to have more material than you need to finish off. So you're getting a piece of inch steel. You can have a piece of 1.25 inches, but that's more of a two-man job. And if you're competing for the convention, you'll do this with a mass a lot. We're doing this for our international, which is a bob punch toe clip, but it all depends on what you're making it for. But it's the test in hand that you're trying to achieve. So you have a bump in the toe, a bump in the heel. Basically, what we're trying to achieve with this steel is you just take a piece of steel and you move it over, and you've got two beveled edges. The goal would be to not lose so much weight bearing that you can punch the shoe coarse enough. If you want to frog eye it, but then you make for a whole new set of problems on your hands if you're just going to frog eye the inside of it and try and get a bevel on the outside and not have your nails go down center of stock. I would not recommend this unless you're going to nail these shoes on. If you're going to nail these shoes on, then it becomes evident that the shoe is punched coarse enough. But if you're going to make them for a table, you have to represent where the white line of the foot is. And so basically what you want to do is you want to keep your width of section, but yet have everything moved over. So you've got a slant on the inside and a slant on the outside. So what we'll do is we'll pick it up right after we get done bumping, because we've got a video on this same exact website for bumping. So if you want to see how to bump. But we're going to start with 13.5 inches of steel, and we'll probably end up with 11.5 inches of steel when we're all said and done. Alright, we're going to put the bevel in. We don't want to, this is going to be one of the corners we don't want to touch. So when we run this down, we're going to be pushing this corner into the anvil. We don't want this corner to touch. And then when we flip it over, we're gonna go all the way over. We're going to run this, and we don't want this corner to touch. We're always going to exaggerate more to where this corner's not touching. Alright, so then this is the corner that we never touched. When we come down, we're going to collapse with our hammer on this side, because this will have nothing underneath it, and that'll accentuate the bevel more. So I'm going to always hit the corner that is not, that side's the side we forged in, so that corner. It doesn't, at this point we're forging the corners off it, so don't worry about ground surface or foot surface, because we're trying to create our bevel. Now you can see this corner is not supported, so I'm going to flatten it out like this and let it fall. That makes it even more. Then I repeat the process. Let it fall out. Now I'll put a heel on it. Can you see? Can you see how I've moved that edge over quite a bit. But yet I've still maintained more than an inch. Well, a little less than an inch, but I still got my width. All right, I'm gonna hold it at an angle, come through, and then I'm gonna forge my heel on an angle. Coming down, coming back into the stock, through the outside. So now that seam, you can see how my seam is straight. This gives the illusion that bevel comes all the way around and finishes out. Run down the edge. Go all the way down the edge. Forge it right back into it. Again, back into it, come all the way down. Kind of clean up these edges. Now, when you come, I have my bevel. It comes and it goes all the way around to the center of the heel check. Boom, boom. My boxing does the same thing. Flatten it out real good and do the medial side. All right. Now it's everything in reverse. We've got this is the medial side, so I'm going to come on and work my way through it. Work my way through the stock. Work my way through the stock. Now I'm going to come, and I got to go across my body, but I'm going to pull that outer edge down. Pull that outer edge down. I'm going to come through the heel and come right on through and start making my heel check. This one I'm going to do opposite. Since it's a medial heel, I'm going to come with it up on the point, coming around the corner. That starts my safety on the medial side. Flatten her up. And you can see I've got my bevel started. You can see probably not as exaggerated on the medial side just because you don't have as much angle to the medial wall. I'm going to do one more heat and clean it up and get my bevel on there good. See? Bevel. And then bevel. Now I'm going to do my toe bend. You can see how much more material it looks like we have on this side than that side, because it draws out so quickly on the medial side, because you're petiting it up and you're trying to build width on that side so it doesn't grow as fast. So this is where I've still got a lot of luxury material. If you were doing a Mass-a-Lot clip, you would be building a point that whole time. But we're doing a bob punch clip.